Thinkers 50 Ranking for 2013, the most influential management thinker in the world, is Christensen.
I just never imagined that people would think of me in this way, but I'm grateful. I've recently studied about the Huguenots. That was the American version of a British word. But the Huguenots decided that the dominant religion of the day had gone off the rails a bit, and so they separated themselves out in the pursuit of truth. And they didn't walk away from the goodness that the prior church had given them, but they just thought there was more better. And they were persecuted and hunted, and ultimately they had to leave Europe and find safety in South Africa. But I've thought a lot about the courage that the Huguenots had. There were a lot of people at the time who disagreed with the dominant religion's practices, but they just went along with it because breaking with that was very dangerous. And for whatever reason, as I studied that history a bit, I realized that I have just been surrounded by Huguenots, meaning a group of people who aren't bound by tradition, but really are in the pursuit of truth about the processes of management. And it's the academy, almost like a religion, causes people to do things in ways that I don't think are productive. And the pursuit of truth, in a lot of ways, requires that you put first the pursuit of truth, and then put your career second, because there's a lot of belief that it compromises your ability to succeed by their standards. And I wanted just to thank a few Huguenots. The first is my wonderful wife, Christine, who was here today, and our 5 children. And just in the pursuit of truth, you know, I became a doctoral student at age 40 with 5 kids. And so there was a lot to talk about at the end of the day when I came home. But Christine just kept asking, "What did you learn today?" And as I tried to describe what I learned, she would just challenge me in every way, just to be sure that I was true to the truth that I was pursuing. And then she would ask me to, when she would see the blank stares in our children's faces, I realize that my work won't have any impact unless I can figure out how to explain my research in a way that my 12-year-old could understand it and be engaged with it. And they were Huguenots because they could have done a lot more fun with their lives than working their dad. And then there are a lot of people who the rules of academia would be they should build their own careers with their own ideas. And if you try to build your work upon somebody else, there's a lot of fear that it will compromise your career. But there are a group of people, many of whom are here, who decided, no, we need to work with Clay because his theories aren't very good and they're not complete. But if we can figure out how to change his theories and improve on them so that they can account for all of the anomalies that they create, as an enterprise, we'll be able to have a bigger impact than if any of you worked alone. And so they spend a lot of time writing books and articles to show what's wrong with Clay's theories. And then we're kind enough to work with us so that we can improve the theory. And the theory of disruption has been evolving over 20 years. The theory is not an event, it's a process. And it really requires Huguenots who are willing to put their career at risk to move a body of understanding forward. And I think I can look at what's happened in their professional lives. And thankfully, it hasn't been compromised in their case at all. I also just wanted to say that I wrote a book called How Will You Measure Your Life? I voted for Rogers, incidentally. But there was an important idea in there that I wanted to offer to you in closing. And that is that the happiness in our lives won't come from our achievements in the professions that we have chosen. But our happiness will come from intimate, loving relationships with members of our family and our close friends. And if you ever find that you have spent already 60 hours a week trying to move ahead in your profession, and you wonder, should I spend another 10 or 20 hours in that pursuit? I just offer that that's a bad trade-off in two ways. One is if you will invest your primary energy and time to develop deep and happy relationships with your family, it will make you happy. And if you will make that commitment, you will be blessed so that you will be even more professionally successful if you put first things first. And I have all the things that you might never remember about what Clay asked of you. This is something that I ask, that you each put first things first, and you will be blessed in every way. Thanks again for being my friends.